Wanted to talk about allelopathic plants a little bit. I'm not really sure how legit those things are. Maybe in a vacuum, that's a thing. So basically, the thing is that certain plants emit chemicals that prevent other plants from growing around it. I know there's a lot of things you can plant supposedly around, like apple trees, that will help keep away weeds and things. But one of the big things is, they say, sunflowers. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, because in one case, I have some sunflowers over here. We'll go over and look, and I've got beans and potatoes and other things nearby, and supposedly sunflowers prevent beans and potatoes from growing very well. And okay, so sunflowers, this whole row, sunflowers, they're all volunteer, but so then you come back here, and I tried to put in some beans, and they are not doing well. In fact, well, okay, I won't say they aren't doing well. I will say barely any of them germinated. However, I used very old seeds, so that's hard to, really determine. Like I said, has to be in a vacuum because there's too many variables here. But the ones that are growing seem to be doing just fine. In fact, the one right next to the sunflower is here, another one there. So is it the sunflowers? Is it the fact that these are old seeds? Here's my potatoes. Sunflowers, potatoes, sunflower, 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 sunflower. So I don't know how I feel about that. Then there's also some thought that maybe amaranth has some allelopathic properties. And that makes me wonder, because I have a whole bunch of volunteer amaranth over here, and my peas were looking horrible, and just bad. They did get fruit, and this was before these were so big. I mean, I had a bunch of little, whole bunch of little stuff growing in here, and they were just looking awful. So it wasn't that they were shaded in this case. But the amaranth, from what I read, it isn't quite as, well known or whatever as sunflowers. I have a sunflower problem. They're everywhere. They are literally everywhere, but I don't mind. So yeah, here's my other thought. Boy, the grass sure has no problem growing around the sunflowers, weeds, grass, whatever. I was thinking over here, if you look at where all these volunteer sunflowers are, the pumpkins are tiny. And then you get further away and they're doing all right, like these over there. But there are some, maybe it's on the other, it might be over there, yeah. There's some on that side that are directly underneath a sunflower, and they're doing fine. And in this case, my guess is this is shaded. This is super shaded. So how can you say that it's one thing or another? Oh my God, that is a squash vine borer moth. Pardon me a moment while I try to dispatch it. I got it. Yes. Okay, that's a whole discussion for another time. Maybe I'll make another video about those evil things. But where was I? So some of these are doing just horrible, but they're shaded a lot. So can you say that it's sunflowers or not sunflowers? So I think it kind of, my garlic, some of this is really tiny. Well, it's 100% shaded. So I don't know. Just one of those things. When I come out here and I think, oh my gosh, these aren't growing. what's the problem? And I could start pointing fingers at what I planted next to it, but maybe that's not it. And I like sunflowers, and I love volunteers, especially flowering volunteers that look nice, because heck, I try to grow them on purpose and then they don't come up. So why not have those? So I don't know. I wish it was a little more definitive, because then maybe I wouldn't have so much grass and weeds and stuff in my garden. But I don't know. I'll have to look up and see if I can find any research on, 100%. And if that's the case, then do we derive herbicides from sunflowers? I don't know. It was just a thought when I was out here taking my morning walk to check out how everything is going. So I think in the end, I will just keep planting things that I like and not really worry about it too much.